I quit my job with nothing lined up. No clients, no deals, no savings to spare. My wife was pregnant. It was the middle of COVID and I had no idea if any of this was going to work. And most people would call that stupid. Looking back, it was the best decision I ever made, but it nearly broke me first. And I'm sharing this today because I know some of you are sitting on a decision right now. You know you want out. You've done the research. You've watched the videos, but something is stopping you. And that thing, whatever it is, feels very real and very reasonable. And I want to talk about that today because I've been in that exact same place. And what I know now that I didn't know then changes everything. Let me take you back to the day that I decided enough was enough. Now, I was working a very, very good job for a property investment firm in the city of London. Long hours, good money on paper, good money, but I was bringing home work every single night. I'm doing 60 to 80 hours a week, barely present with my family. And my wife was pregnant with our first child at the time. Then one day, my mom was rushed into intensive care. She's got COVID. So I went to my boss, I asked for time off. And the way they spoke to me in that moment, the way they made me feel for asking for time off when my mom was in hospital, I'll never forget it. And something inside of me broke, something shifted. I looked at my life and I was like, is this it? I'm thinking about my daughter. I'm thinking about my own dad who wasn't in my life growing up. And I made a promise to myself right there and then. I said, my daughter is never going to know what that feels like. But I knew in that moment that if I stayed where I was, the reality is I was going to be that dad anyway. I was going to be present physically in the body, but I was going to be absent in everything else. So I made the decision. I handed in my notice. My wife was pregnant. We had no income coming in. It was the middle of a global pandemic. I had nothing lined up, nothing. I want to be straight with you about what came next, because if you've watched anything online, talk about quitting the job, then it usually sounds like this. I quit, I went all in, 6 months later, I was making £20,000 a month. Well, listen, that's not my story. What actually happened is it was hard. It was really hard. I was trying to make rent-to-rent work. Estate agents just kept saying no. Landlords were not interested. I had bad credit. I couldn't pass the referencing checks. So weeks went by with nothing to show for it. My wife is still pregnant. Every single day, the pressure was building. We're getting closer. And there were moments, quiet moments where I genuinely asked myself whether I'd made a mistake, whether I should just go and get another job, whether the people who told me, you sure about this? What are you doing? Were they right? But here's what kept me going. Not motivation, not inspiration, not a YouTube video. Just a question I asked myself, why isn't this working? Based on my actual situation, how do I make this work? It's worked for other people. Now that might sound like a small change, but it isn't, because that question forced me to think differently. So I tapped into my background. I used to be an estate agent. And in that job, we never rented properties from landlords to sublet them. We just managed properties on behalf of the landlords. They kept ownership, we handled everything, and we got paid a percentage of the rent that we collected from the tenants every month. So I was like, well, what if I just do that, but for Airbnb? So I went into research mode. What I found blew my mind. All the largest companies in this space are already doing this. For some reason, no one's talking about it. And 1 week after making that shift, I was at an event. So this is 1 week after. I was speaking to a landlord. He's flying Elephant and Castle. It's been empty for 2 years. His last tenants, they destroyed the place. It was bad. I explained the model anyway. Showed him the numbers. 2 days later, the deal was signed. £1,000 in my first month from a property I didn't own. A property I didn't put a single penny of my own money into. Now, let me be clear. I'm not here to tell you to quit your job. That's not what this video is about. In fact, the whole point of what I teach is that you don't need to quit your job to build it. I know what I went through. Don't wish down anyone else. But you can build it alongside what you're already doing. And most of my students are working professionals. They're not doing this full time. They're building it on the side, in the evenings, on the weekends. And they're getting deals. Angelina's a nurse. She was doing 60 plus hours a week, similar to me when she started. She secured 3 properties in 5 weeks. That's an extra £3,000 a month coming in. She didn't quit first, she built first, and then she reduced the hours afterwards. Jayesh, the same thing. He didn't quit his corporate job, but he secured 5 properties in 3 months, bringing in an extra 4K a month. Now he has the option, if he so chooses. The thing I want you to take away from my story is not, let me just go and do what Ibrahim did. It's the perfect moment does not exist. And I know that feels uncomfortable to hear, but the people who wait until everything is aligned, nothing is ever going to be aligned. They wait until the savings is right, the timing is right, until the confidence is there. Most of those people are still waiting till today, and they were there with me 5 years ago. What changes is not the moment, it's the decision to start. Not perfectly, not with everything figured out, just start. I walked away from my job with nothing in place. this. Now, I don't recommend that, right? But I do recommend this. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the right time. Pick one thing, one step, and do it today. And if you're at the start of this and you don't know where to begin, I've put together a completely free guide. It's called The 5 Steps to Launch Your First Airbnb Business Without Owning a Single Property. It walks you through exactly what to do, from setting up your business properly in week 1, to researching your location in week 2, to going out and finding your first landlord in week 3 and week 4, step by step, week by week. The link is in the description and it's free. Download it today. Go through week 1 this weekend. That's all I'm asking. One step. The link is below. And if this resonated with you, then subscribe. Hit that button, subscribe. Don't just be coming here and taking in all this juicy information without subscribing, right? Hit that subscribe button right now. But seriously, I put out 2 videos every single week. One of them is a practical one, how to find locations, how to talk to landlords, how to set up the business. And the other one is this, real talk about the journey, because I think you need both. I'll see you in the next one.